In a small Mexican village south of Arizona, a group of women has huge goals that entail hard work and sacrifice, attention to detail, and international commerce. The women live in Frontera, Sonora, about 30 miles south of Douglas and the U.S. border. The community of about 7,000 people has few economic opportunities, so they're taking matters into their own hands. They formed a co-op to recycle television sets, computers, and other electronics, which are often discarded by their neighbors to the north. Vicky Ponce is one of the founders, and she says the idea for this business was inspired by necessity.
We used to wait and see if anyone would bring jobs here, or else we'd make tamales and tortillas and try to sell them across the border. This is different, thank God. We're staying very busy, and our goal is to have a viable operation that can sustain a dedicated workforce.
The ladies are working with a recycling company from Vermont, and they have received cross-border assistance from volunteers and community activists. Their persistence has drawn attention, and they've been given the nickname Las Chicas Bravas, Spanish for the angry or tough women.
Because they would not give any quarter. They would not be put off by bureaucrats saying no. They would not be put off by licensing requirements or lack of finances. Nothing would stop them because they said they had nothing to lose. When you have nothing, you can only go up.
Alice Valenzuela and her husband are former Silicon Valley professionals who have worked with chambers of commerce and other major groups in the United States, but they moved to a ranch in this region nearly 20 years ago. They agreed to help the women if everyone pulled their weight and kept everything above board with Mexican officials.
The story's still being written, but nobody said we would get this far. They were just told you're never going to succeed. And to the extent that we have succeeded this far, it's been very satisfying, and we expect that we'll be taken the rest of the way.
Mike Rohrbach is the director of a nonprofit organization in Bisbee that is partnering with the U.S. company involved in this project. He saw this as a win-win for everyone, so he decided to volunteer. For example, the warehouse for distributing the recyclables is in Douglas, Arizona, which also needs jobs.
To me, it just seemed like Cochise County doesn't have very much employment. Here is a new industry, okay? And why not try and see whether I can find a way to get something set up in Mexico that would partner with a U.S. company.
Robin Ingenthron runs a recycling company in Vermont, and he's noticed that many of the workers in the industry are originally from Mexico. So he decided, why not create jobs for Mexicans in their homeland as part of a program of binational cooperation?
It's so much fun. You know, the Vermonters get to meet these women from Mexico who fly up to the Northeast for the first time in a plane in their lives and work side by side with their Vermonters. And then we fly down Vermonters like
And for Mirta Rico, this effort has been a blessing. She lives in Fronteras and has had a tough time finding a job, especially since she's partially deaf, which requires more patience from her bosses and peers. Here, she says, she gets that.
Thank God I started to work here. I really like my job, and it's helping me save money for a hearing aid. People here are nice, and I hope we can all succeed and continue to grow.
The future of the company is uncertain right now, since Retroworks will need to get recycling contracts from major companies and municipalities in the U.S. to keep it afloat. Still, there is hope. There's nothing wrong with many of these TVs, so they can be resold in Mexico, which is not going digital. Also, those that are dismantled have copper, lead, aluminum, and other materials which can be reused by industries.
Yeah, don't throw it in the landfill. If you saw the amount of mining and refining it took to get that copper and that lead and the amount of pollution involved, you would see why no country on earth throws these things away.
Recycling, new jobs, and empowering women. This complementary combination is changing lives while helping the environment, an example of purpose-driven people improving their communities.
There's nothing really difficult to recycle about a TV. What's difficult is that all the pieces are attached by screws, and a human being has to remove all of the screws, and that's expensive to do up north.
So what's your take on it takes a village? You said it doesn't take a village?
No, it doesn't take a village. It takes really 5 or 6 really committed people who just won't give up and who just keep going. And I think you can change the world with that kind of determination.
My goal is to continue working here and have a steady job with a dependable income. I believe that work results in dignity, and we want dignity. We want to work.
It's a goal of many towns in Mexico and throughout the world, and so far, the persistence and dedication in Fronteras appear to be paying off.